Hello guys, hello. I know I haven't done a video here in a while. I've been focused on myself and stuff, but also been, um, looking at some Gemini H's videos too, and meditating and everything, obviously, building a little bit. And watching a lot of Harry Potter and a lot of videos about Harry Potter. So I want to talk about Harry Potter because I love the series, and I do want to get into the book, so um, maybe this is maybe I might get the books this month. Might be my Christmas present to me. It just depends how much um it would be, because plenty of times I try to get the book, they want like $100 for it or 150, and I'm like, are you fucking high? Are you stupid? These books have been out for years, and you want this much for it? I can understand if it had different covers of it, but it's the same cover that I've been seeing since I was a fucking goddamn kid. Which I might get those mainly because I grew up with them, and I might just get the ones that there's a picture. I mean, a there's re-releases of the Harry Potter books that have pictures of of what happens in the books basically, but if you put them all together, it's one picture and it's mwah, beautiful. I might just get that and just literally just never open it, or maybe open it in a way and just like put them all together and just frame that shit, because that shit's beautiful as fuck. It really is. Have you seen that picture? If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's all hand drawn and everything. Some people might say it would look beautiful in color, and to be honest, it would. It would look tremendously beautiful in color. But to be honest, have it black and white is beautiful. And if you all, before I get to the Harry Potter stuff, but those covers, in my opinion, if you're going to re-release them with the same cover and everything, this is what I would do: have it be colors, and then have it be all colorful and all that in the books, basically, like the cover of the books, and then slowly become just not color anymore because the series is getting darker and darker and darker. And if you want to hint more of that, go to the spine of the book, and then where it says Harry Potter, all of that stuff, the name gets decreased and decreased and decreased, or rusty over time, basically. Which I loved that they did that in the books. I mean, in the movie, all shiny, yellowy, then it becomes all freaking shiny silver and everything. Then it gets all dull a little bit, dull brown, grayish a little bit. Then it gets really brown. Then it's like starts peeling off, like it's rusty and shit like that. Like, oh, it's beautiful. The openings alone to the Harry Potter movies is just magical. Right there, it's magical right there. But but when you see the logos, you understand and overstand, or you understand. Well, it's really overstand and understand that the the magic is gone. Not even the magic is gone. The the childness, basically, the child wonder of of basically the Harry Potter universe is like slowly degrading, slowly decaying. Like the magic, the beautifulness, the whimsical is still there, but there was something that's evil that's stomping on it and making sure that it's not shining again. And so it has to be defeated to shine again. And that's what the movie and that's what the whole series is all about anyway. But this is just me talking about Harry Potter. If you like me just talking shit, basically just talking, then there it is, here it is. But this is a video I've been wanting to do, actually. And this is something, I'm just watching a video of 15 unpopular Harry Potter opinions from Harry Potter Theory. And this was in August 16, 2021. And I haven't seen it, but I'm going to watch it. We're going to watch along with it. Shout out to Harry Potter Theory. Great channel in my opinion. But hey, if you don't like their channel, that's fine. It's just a channel. Hey, you can make your own Harry Potter stuff in your channel too if you want to. That's what I'm doing. I just love this shit. I really do. I love the Harry Potter universe. I want to live there. Like, I'm dead serious. I want to live there. And to be honest, I don't want to talk about it in a spiritual enlightenment way, or even in quote unquote spiritual enlightenment way. In a quote unquote in a higher realm way, I don't want to talk about that, because if I do that, we'd be here all day to be honest. This would be more than an hour long, because I would not stop talking about the comparisons to that to literally real life. So there we go. All I have to say about that, and I've mentioned this before in my other videos, J.K. Rowling, you have a lot of explaining to do. All that shit, learning from us. Same thing about with George Lucas. You have a lot of explaining to do with all that technology you showed in Star Wars. But moving on. That's just anybody that wants to really know more. You know, I haven't been here in a while, so just a little refresher to anyone that's new. But if you don't care, then fine, you don't care. I'm just wanna, if anyone that's just something. Hey, if you want to learn more, then go. But if you don't want to learn more, then fine, don't learn more. I want look. You might think that I'm telling you you're stupid for not learning more, but you just said that to yourself. So there you go. But moving on, I'm looking at the Harry Potter movies right here, right now, and let me give you an overview of all of them before I start this video and I break down after of how I feel with each Harry Potter book. Well, not book, movie. I might say book, but it's really movie. I'm sorry, I apologize with that. But moving on, the first one, magical. Like, from my perspective, this is the perspective when I was growing up with these movies right now. The first Harry Potter movie, I was obsessed. I was fucking obsessed with this fucking movie. Because I already knew about the book. And I was already into that shit. I was already into it. And then all of a sudden the movie's coming out. And I was into that shit. And then Chamber of Secrets come out. And I was into that shit too. That was like one of my favorite ones. Like, out of the two original ones, part 2 is my favorite. Hands down. I'm dead serious. It's literally my favorite. Some people might not like Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone. I like Philosopher's Stone. Everything in that movie hints to other movies that mention the first movie and also the second movie, which I'm so glad they did that in other movies, because that was one of the things that I was like kind of cautious with, because I'm like, if you don't bring stuff back that were in the previous movies, you're fucked. You're stupid. But they did. Not all of them, but enough that you'd be like, okay, good. I'm glad you did that. You weren't like, oh, I'm going to do my own shit. I'm like, what are you doing? You know? So, other than that, I was really into Harry Potter at that point. I was obsessed with it, you know? And the thing is, I want to tell you guys this. Before I get to Prisoner of Azkaban, I had never watched these movies in the movie theater. I never watched any of these Harry Potter movies in the movie theater. And I regret it, and I do regret that. I wish I did. So, but just, you know, I just never had, you know, I guess I never thought of people just taking me, you know? But moving on. I remember watching Harry Potter on TV. Loved it, the first Harry Potter movie. Second, 2, obviously. And then I started thinking to myself that there was just this long drag of not much of Harry Potter. I don't know why I felt that way, because literally not long before I saw the next book, Prisoner of Azkaban, like the book. I saw it. I saw the cover of it. I'm like, holy shit, and everything like that. But I remember for some reason it took a while for this movie to come out. I don't know why. I mean, you're a kid, so things take longer when you're a kid, you know? So, because if you tell a kid, oh, that's a month, they're going to think that shit's forever. You know? I mean, for crying out loud, I thought 2 or 3 days were forever or something like that. Oh, that's like 5 days from now, you know? I don't know, this is when you're a kid or something like that. But I always felt like this movie took a long time to come out. But when it did, I was happy. I thought Prisoner of Azkaban was better than the first 2, to be honest. And it was very refreshing that there was no Voldemort, to be quite honest. It was. Look, I didn't hate Voldemort, well, Tom, in the beginning. I didn't hate Voldemort, Tom Riddle in the beginning. I didn't. I thought he was a good villain. For crying out loud, when you first see him in the freaking Philosopher's Stone, you're like, oh my fucking god. But the thing is, I knew they got him wrong. The way he looked like in the movie, he was creepy in the movie, but I knew they got him wrong in the movie because in the book, because I did read the first book. I haven't read it in a long time, so I'm probably forgetting some shit. But I do remember his face literally looked like a fucking goddamn serpent. Literally, like his face, like literally look at a serpent's face, and that was Voldemort's face. For crying out loud, I posted it on my community page if you want to look at that. That's what Voldemort was supposed to look like, and they had a picture of it. Why they didn't use that? I know why. No, seriously, I know why they didn't use that. Can you tell me? I would, but if I told you, you'd probably be like, oh, you're conspiracy theorists, so I won't even fucking goddamn tell you if you say that, because that's fucking sad at that point. So I won't tell you. I just won't tell you, to be honest, because at that point you should know. I already told you right now, just by me saying that. But I'll make another video about it in my other channels that I talk about shit like that. So, moving on. I did wish they kept that look, because that is what he's actually supposed to look. He's supposed to look like that. Voldemort is supposed to look like that. That fucking terrifying and that scary. When you saw it in the movie, you were like, yeah, that's scary, obviously, because another person's head's coming out. But when you look at it now as an adult, not as terrifying. As a kid, yes, but not as terrifying. Again, going back, when you read the book, you'll be like, oh shit. Literally. It was the perfect example and the perfect interpretation of it. You know? So I don't want to go that deep into it, and I already kind of did. But what they did with Voldemort in the future, the look, is fine. You know? It's basically the same look. It's just his snout is not out and there's not sharp teeth and his eyes are not red and he doesn't have the whole serpent mouth. That's really it. They just took the creepy parts out and left him kind of more bland, but yet still more kind of creepy too, which is fine. I like the look that they gave him. You know, it's iconic. It really is. It's actually iconic. Which is kind of sad because if they ever remake this shit or they ever do a TV series of the books, they will make Voldemort look like that. And I'll be like, no, make him look like what he looks like in the book. What are you doing? Make him look like a fucking serpent. What are you wrong with you? He'd split his soul into a fucking snake. Make him look, that's why his face is like that, motherfucker. Like, for real. You know? So, when you look at the movie-wise, though, I'm sorry, I am getting to a tangent with that. But hey, this is just talking about Harry Potter, so fuck it. But when you do look at the movie version, though, it does kind of make sense the movie version wise. Why? Is because I think people at the time said that he didn't split his soul with Nagini yet until like he literally left. Core's body. Sorry, I'm forgetting his name. Which was the 8th Horcrux, but in Voldemort's eyes, he was the 7th, but he was still 8th, mainly because Harry, it's confusing. It's like Core or Harry was the 8th, then when Core died, he wasn't the 8th anymore, or the 7th anymore, and Harry just became the 7th, because he wasn't the 8th anymore. Oh, God. Motherfucking. Fuck me sideways and call me Shirley. So basically, all these books, in all these movies, have Voldemort's Horcrux on it. Core, Harry, in the first one, the book in the second one, which I love the book. I love that they brought Voldemort back as like his body made of his soul inside the book. That's fucking badass in my opinion. That's fucking badass. And it's kind of terrifying when you think about it. That shit can never be destroyed. The only way you can destroy it is if you obviously destroy it with a type of thing that can destroy a Horcrux, which is awesome. And it's funny that it could be a basilisk or maybe even the Gryffindor sword. Most people are like, why the Gryffindor sword? Why would you think that? Because in the Game Boy Color version of Chamber of Secrets, Harry literally grabs the Gryffindor sword and stabs freaking Tom Riddle's diary and Tom just disappears and shit like that. That's badass. That's fucking badass. I wish they did that in the movie instead of the basilisk fucking, teeth and shit like that. Not to say the basilisk teeth is not badass or shit like that, but the sword of Gryffindor would have been more badass. Just guts, blood, basically black blood just coming out of it, touching the Gryffindor sword and everything. Oh man, just badass. Just touching the blood also from the basilisk. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. I feel like the second movie really became dark, man. It really did. And I loved it for it. I did. I really did. Because when I grew up, I wanted Harry Potter to be dark. Why? Because the PS2 was out. Everything else was getting darker. And everything else became darker after, 2008 with movies. Let's do everything dark. Remember that? Yeah. But let's go to Prisoner of Azkaban. Sorry. I'm on one video here, but who cares? So Prisoner of Azkaban. When this movie came out, I loved the trailer. For crying out loud, they showed the trailer so much that you couldn't stop watching it. The first thing that you always saw, the first thing that they always promote every time I saw it, was Hermione punching Draco in the face. And every time you saw that, you're like, I want to see this movie just for that shit. I'm dead serious, because you knew Draco needed to get a come up. And the fact that he gets punched in the face in this movie is priceless. It's fucking priceless. And the thing is, it doesn't happen in any other movie after this, at least I don't think. He doesn't get punched in the face after this. At least I don't think. He does get sliced by a fucking sword. I get to that soon. But I think I think that was the only it in the movie. But in the books, Draco gets beat up a lot in the books, as he should, motherfucker. So, Prisoner of Azkaban was so refreshing with the whole not Voldemort stuff. But it was a nice backstory to Harry's life. Harry's backstory of his father and his friends, and who framed his friend. Who framed the Potters, basically. It's funny. When I first watched this movie as a kid, I really didn't put two and two together until years later. I don't know why. It took me that long just to figure that shit out. But looking back as an adult and rewatching that movie, it's become, again, my favorite Harry Potter movie. And it is good. It holds up still to this day. Like fine wine. That movie will never age. Alright? The way the characters look in that movie is priceless. Also, is literally iconic at the end of the day. And I do like the fact that they don't wear their, their school uniforms, basically. Sometimes they do in other movies. I like how they do go back and forth, like wearing their normal clothes and then just their uniforms. Some people might not like that. Some people are like, no, they should always wear their uniforms. What the fuck? And I'm like, well, guys, they're getting older, and eventually they're not gonna. Well, come on, guys. Like, really, if you're gonna have a whole fucking break, and you're gonna chill outside the fucking campus, are you really gonna wear your fucking uniform? To be honest, really? Are you? No, seriously, are you? I wouldn't. I'll be wearing something that I'll be more comfortable with. Wouldn't you? I don't know. Most people are like, oh, but you have to respect the campus. Please don't be like that. At that point, I would let Voldemort do abracadabra to you. Hell, to be honest, let me do it myself. I don't give a fuck. I would do it. Okay? So, how dare you, or whatever. But Prisoner of Azkaban was great. I love the character Sirius Black. I loved it. I love the whole mystery to it. This felt more of a mystery than the other two movies. Not to say the other two movies then felt like mysteries. They did. It's just like this one felt of a more mystery. You kept guessing. And then when Lupin started, smiling and started hugging Sirius Black, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I remember when I first saw that shit, I'm like, are you serious? And Hermione's like, no. And I'm like, for real, no, and shit. Yo, I was into it, man. I was into that shit when I was a child. And then you got the Whopping Willow and shit like that, like in fucking part 1, but the Whopping Willow is like, just telling people not fuck you and shit like that. Yo, man. And then you get the whole time traveling thing, which a lot of people don't like. I love it. They did a great job with the whole time traveling shit in this one. Obviously, in previous books of what J.K. Rowling did, all the time tunnels got destroyed, from what I've heard. But to be honest, in the movies, they haven't done that at all. I don't think they even mentioned it in the movies. So you know what? Time tunnels still exists in movie, not in book, but movie. So that's why when you look at it in Cursed Child, you'd be like, okay, I could see it. Maybe not exist in the Cursed Child, but if they made a movie out of it, it kind of has to exist because they didn't destroy it in the movie. Did they mention it in the movie? No. Oh, well then, fuck. That's why a lot of people say that the movies are not canon. It's almost like when you look at the Batman comic books, the comic books are canon, the movies are not. You know, like the movies do their own thing. You know, they're not going to be like, oh, this is going to change the comic books. And people are going to be like, oh, what the fuck? You know, it's not going to be like that. You know? And even if they try, it's not going to work. Trust me. But Prison of Azkaban is my top 3 favorite Harry Potter movies. It is up there, my top 3. And it deserves to be watched. And the ending to this movie is beautiful. To be honest, each of these movies, these 3 movies, Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone, whatever you want to call it, Chamber of Secrets, Prison of Azkaban, these 3 movies, to be quite honest, they all connect to each other, yes. But each of them are their own movies. You literally can watch them separately and literally not be confused, in my opinion. At least for me. That's just me. Hey, maybe if you read this book separately without reading the other ones, you'll probably be confused. You probably will. But with the movies, at least with the first 3, I didn't felt confused if I just like skipped Chamber of Secrets and went to 3, for example. You know? Because you just got about the whole a little bit backstory about about Harry and his father a little bit, and about Peter Pettigrew and stuff like that, and Sirius, obviously, all that stuff. So I'm trying to think here now. I'm sorry, guys, I'm drawing a blank, but all of that stuff is great on its as its own movie. You know, they did mention Voldemort in this movie. You know, when Harry was seeing what is it, I'm forgetting these names, man. Yo, man, yo, man, I'm fucking bloodsuckers. But so I know someone's going to scream in the comments. I know I have it on top of my head. I just can't. You know when you have it in your head, you just can't say it. Fucking hate that shit. Dementors. There we go. You see, I had it. It just didn't. But moving on, I think this is good. I think this movie's great. I'm sorry, I'm just gushing about this movie because it's just great. I don't know how the book is because after I didn't read the other books after 2. Like I read half of a little bit of 2 and then I stopped. I had other priorities as a kid, when I was a kid. Now as an adult, I can look back at them and probably read them, but I don't own them. So now I'm going to go back and look for it. And I think I actually do own the first Harry Potter book. I need to look for that. I should ask for my sister for it. I think she has it. If she doesn't, I think I have the first Harry Potter book. I think I do. I have to find it somewhere. I think it's probably over here. That side, and I can't grab it because it's in a whole bunch of movies. So it's probably over there. If it's not, it's probably in these boxes. So I'll let you know if I ever find it. If not, and if I re-get the books and I find that, I'll just be like, oh, fuck it. I have 2 Sorcerer's Stone books. Fuck it, you know. So probably could give it to somebody or something like that, you know. But moving on. So the next movie, the thing is, the 3 movies are great. The 4th movie is when we get into like, what the fuck are you doing territory. I never read the 4th book, but holy shit, this movie This movie, man, when I first saw this movie, there was parts in this movie that I loved. I did. But other than that, this movie was just like, I can't say it was shit. I'm not going to say that. It was just not good. Looking back at it now, it's not as bad as I thought it was, or people make it out to be. Same thing with Half Blood Prince. But it's still not a good movie, and it's still not a good Harry Potter movie, in my opinion. I'll still watch it because it's Harry Potter and there's stuff that I like about it that I will go back to anytime I want. That's the thing that's the thing that I like about Goblet of Fire and Half Blood Prince. They don't have these movies as long. These movies, it might be flaws and you might not want to watch them and you want to watch the other movies. But if you are going to watch them as a marathon, basically, it's not as bad as you think it is. And to be honest, the good stuff outweighs more of the flaws, and you remember the good stuff better anyways, more of the bad stuff, in my opinion. That's just me when I watch we watch those movies. That's just me as a Harry Potter nut with the movies, I mean, at least. So the Triwizard Tournament stuff is great. I thought that was great. Segret Diggory, I'm butchering the name right there. And the thing is, I could say it right when it's off camera, but when it's on camera, I fuck up, right? But Cedric, there you go, I got it right. Cedric Diggory, great character, to be quite honest. That's the first introduction I got into that actor, to be quite honest. I forgot his name right now, but yes, he's Batman now, and we see what he can do with that. But now and they changed Dumbledore in the third movie. Why? Is because the other Dumbledore from the first two movies, he passed away. Now, I want to give you my thoughts on Dumbledore right now before I move on with more of the Goblet of Fire. Dumbledore, the first two Dumbledores in the first two movies, that's my Dumbledore, to be honest. That's my Dumbledore. I grew up with him. He's my first Dumbledore. And not to say the other Dumbledore is bad or anything like that. For crying out loud, this Dumbledore fought Voldemort. I think we could be like, yeah, he passes. He does. He's not bad. It's just that he's not the calm Dumbledore that we know. Obviously, that's the only flaw I have with this Dumbledore. But it's not like a major thing. I'm not going to be like, oh, what the fuck you. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just like, oh, okay. But at least I got my calm Dumbledore anyways in my first two movies. I understand that actor died, sadly. And then eventually this actor died too when the movies were over. No one should not be Dumbledore. No one. The next person that's going to play Dumbledore, we should warn him. Do not take breaks. Or just be like, hey, have someone else play him. Because apparently it's cursed. There's a Dumbledore curse, apparently. Just saying. I want to point that out right now. Alright? Some people might not believe it. Oh, it's just a coincidence. 2 died and played Dumbledore. Don't fuck with me. Alright? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay? Don't fuck with me with this type of shit. So moving on. I thought this Dumbledore was great, to be honest, but the whole memes of like, did you put your Harry? Did you put your name in the goblet of fire? Yo, people hate it, but to be quite honest, guys, it has become a staple now. I don't hate it. It makes me laugh every time because I know Dumbledore's not like that. When I first saw this movie, I'm like, I literally screamed at the screen when I first watched this movie. I was like, Dumbledore, you know Harry wouldn't done this, you dumb motherfucker. Because the Dumbledore I know, he would know that, of course, Harry wouldn't put his fucking name in the Goblet of Fire. He was framed. No shit. If you watch the other 2 Harry Potter movies, you know Dumbledore doesn't think about that with Harry. But apparently, when it came to the third, well, actually no, when it came to the fourth movie, the director did not give a fuck. Dumbledore was fine in the third movie, but the fourth movie, again, he was fine in the fourth movie. Look, he's fine. The actor was fine for what he's giving, and I'm fine what they did with Dumbledore. But with the fourth movie, for crying out loud, man, like it's already been established that the guy that made the fourth movie looked at the book and he's like, look, it's too big. Let's just focus on the prom shit, and that's what they focus on the fucking goddamn trailer for. I was pissed off with this movie. You know why? Because I told myself I wanted more backstory with Voldemort. And guess what? I found that shit that was true in the book. And I was pissed off. There was other shit that I was like too that I found out that was in the book and they didn't put it in the movies. That I was slightly not that pissed off. And slightly were like, oh, come on, really? You know? This part really hurt. Because you had the perfect opportunity to make this villain better than Darth Vader, but you didn't fucking do it. He's still better than Darth Vader, but the fact that you didn't... The thing is, some people might defend this, being like, look, the fact that we don't know a lot about Voldemort's backstory is great, to be quite honest. And you know what? If you look at it as a horror narrative, which Voldemort is kind of like a horror character, you're not gone. I won't blame you for it. I won't disown you for that, to be honest, or discredit you for that. I would be like, you know what, yeah, there you go. But in my opinion, still, I wanted more Voldemort backstory, man. Come on, man. You have that great opening, that beautiful opening in the beginning of this movie, of like having Nagini, having the Warner Brothers sign with Nagini in it, and then you see Nagini coming out of the fucking skull mouth and shit like that, like freaking like the basilisk coming out of the Chamber of Secrets and shit like that. I love that reference, man. I love that fucking reference. You knew what they were doing when you saw that shit. If you didn't notice that shit, by all means, there you go. You noticed it now. I noticed it and I was just like, there was somebody. There was there was somebody in this movie that wanted... That's the thing. The fourth movie wants to be a good movie, but the director was like, no. And I'm like, what are you doing? This movie the movie itself is trying to be fun and being like the book and trying to tell the story and narrative like the book. But the director is just like, no, focus on this. Focus on this. Focus on this. And I'm like, stop it. The movie's trying to break your rules, and yet you're trying to make the rules. It's stupid. That's the biggest problem I have with this movie. I love the shit. I love a lot of shit about the Goblet of Fire. But holy fuck, man. That part, some of the parts of this movie was just bullshit. Look, this is my perspective when I first watched it. Now, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. It isn't. It's not all bad as I literally made it out to be. But I just pointed out that because that's how I felt when I first saw all of this, my perspective of it and everything like that. Remember, this when I was young, becoming a teenager, and I was growing up with these characters. I felt literally attached to these characters. Not the actors, the characters. There's a difference. There's a fucking difference, guys. Very fucking difference, okay? Very different. So, what else could I probably talk about, to be honest? The whole... to be honest, everything else is fine. Could be better. Change a little bit of Dumbledore. The other thing, too, with Mad-Eye Moody, that is a flaw there, too, because the movies did establish that, hey, if you change your look, you're going to have your same voice, basically. You know, if you look like somebody else, but you have their voice. Mad-Eye Moody, which is not Mad-Eye Moody, I think it's Crumb, right? I could be wrong about his name. But he changed, he was disguising himself as Mad-Eye Moody, but his voice was also Mad-Eye Moody. And I'm just like, obviously in the book, it's not like that. obviously, because the book is smart. But the movie is like, no. But to be quite honest, the movies, and the thing is, you get the same thing in the Deathly Hallows también. And when I watched the Deathly Hallows Part 1 not so long ago, because I'm again doing a marathon of this movie, I haven't watched Part 2 yet. I'm not done with Part 1. I'm just, watching it a little bit, then taking a break because I'm doing other stuff. But because I watched these series already, and I know what happened, so, and I don't want to end my series already. When you're almost done watching a series and you're like, no, I'm not waiting for another season 2. I want to watch it now. Like that. So I thought that there was just a lot of things that I thought that could have been done better. And it's not, again, looking back at it, it's not the best Harry Potter movie, but it's not the worst. Like, again, Half-Blood Prince is not the worst. Anything else I could point out? The comeback of Voldemort is amazing. It's just amazing. That alone, to me, saved the movie. It still saves the movie for me. That shit is just... The actor that plays Voldemort is having so much fucking fun. He's having fun as fuck. And then he looks at Harry, he's like, I can touch you now. Yo! I remember, it reminded me so much of, like, Castlevania type shit. Like, what if Dracula used one of the, Belmont's blood to come back, and then, which I think he did in one of the games, right? And fight Belmont, and Belmont couldn't, like, really kill him because his blood isn't him, or some shit like that, So it's pretty cool. I don't know. I always thought that was badass and shit like that. I always love when villains can, like, do that to the hero and shit like that. I don't know. That's just me. Call me, I don't know. Call me old school. I guess that is old school. I don't know. But call me whatever you want, whatever that is supposed to be called. But I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. And I kind of wish Star Wars kind of did it. Maybe not with Vader, but like a new villain. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's just me. But that's really it with Goblet of Fire. I think it has its flaws, but around I think you should see it just because the good stuff alone. To be quite honest, really, there's really good stuff in this movie. But if someone told me, hey, do I have to watch it? No, you don't have to watch it. For kind of like the video that we're going to watch soon, one of the unpopular opinions is that you can skip this movie and you can get right back to the story. And yes, I agree. You can literally skip the Goblet of Fire and not be confused at all whatsoever. That is a problem. A big massive problem. Because you had your big main villain coming back and you can skip that movie and not be confused? That's a big problem. That's a big fucking problem. That's a big problem, man. Imagine doing that with Darth Vader. People will be pissed off. A lot of people will be pissed off. Some people will be like, oh, that's just the fanboys, so fuck them. But come on, guys, really? Storytelling-wise, though. Not even, like, character-wise, storytelling-wise. And look, at the end of the day, it's just storytelling. It's just character development and shit like that. And everyone right now, at this point in age, people are literally doing what Marvel and DC are doing. Reboot shit, change shit. And some people hate it. Look, I don't know. They just want to fix up their fuck up. That's what DC and Marvel does, especially DC, with their comic books. And no one doesn't bat an eye. They're like, good, fucking change it. I don't know. That's just me. But let's go to one of my favorite Harry Potter movies of all time. It should be, but it's not because I still love Chamber of Secrets. But still, it is the best. It's just the crumb of fantasticness. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Watch this trailer before you watch this movie if you haven't watched it. Because this trailer to this movie is fucking badass. All right, you want to watch this movie. All right, when I watched this trailer, when I first watched this trailer when I was younger, very young, I was in shock. It showed Voldemort. I was in shock. By the end of that trailer, Harry Potter, you will lose everything, you know? And I'm just like, they showed him in the trailer. You think that would be bad, but that they were so confident that they got a good movie that they showed him off. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck. To me, I would have not showed him, but the fact that the movie's so good, I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I don't give a fuck. The trailer's awesome. The movie's awesome. That's very rare. That's very rare that the trailer's fucking awesome and the movie's magnificent. Very rare. Sometimes the trailer sucks and the movie's awesome. Sometimes the trailer's awesome and the movie's shit. You know? Or sometimes the trailer's shit and the movie's shit. Sometimes the trailer's good and the movie's good. You know? So, Order of the Phoenix is awesome. And Dolores Umbridge, fuck her. The actress does a phenomenal job at me hating this character. She does a phenomenal job that she didn't piss me. She pissed me off, but she didn't push me to the limit once she smacked Harry. When she smacked Harry, I was just like, I want this bitch dead. I want Voldemort to skin her alive. That didn't happen, which I'm disappointed. You know, we have Peeves, the poltergeist, freaking hitting her with a freaking Professor McGonagall's freaking cane, you know, and that's the last time we see her, I think, right, in the books, from what I've heard and shit like that. But, and then, well, last time I heard, she's in Prison of Azkaban, obviously. So, I think she is, right? She is in the Prison of Azkaban now. I mean, prison. She is the Prison of Azkaban now. She's in Azkaban. I think that's what it is, right? Now, that's what she is right now, I'm saying. So, good. Now she can rot. I want to have her that. To be honest, what would you rather have? Would you rather have Dolores Umbridge get killed right away or have her rot and suffer? To be honest, I have her rot and suffer. She deserves that. And all the shit she done in this movie with the students when they were all, I should not tell lies, freaking writing on Harry's arm and shit like that. And Harry's just looking at her like, at that point, to be quite honest, even though Dumbledore and other teachers are busy, I would have told the teachers. Obviously, Professor McGonagall, she stood up to Dolores, and I was just like, are we going to get a battle here? Yo, I wanted that shit so fucking bad. Who didn't want that shit? Did not want to see that shit? But you know, Professor McGonagall, she's professional. She's not going to, do that. Obviously, Dolores will, but Professor McGonagall won't. Obviously, Dolores, once she puts out her wand and attacks, obviously, Professor McGonagall is going to defend herself. Obviously, So, it seems Hogwarts. It seems there's worse things I've feared here in Hogwarts and so, some shit like that. I'm just like, fuck you, Dolores, And then she's making all these rules and everything like that, which, from what I've heard, was not in the book. It was only like a few rules, but she made like more rules than what she did in the movie, which is fine. It fits with her character. It does. And she's terrible. She's a terrible person. My goodness. If I ever met her, to be honest, I would be permanently locked up in Azkaban, to be honest. And a lot of students would have told me, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. Even Harry, Ron, and Hermione would have told me, it's not worth it, man. I know she's evil. I know she deserves it, but it's not worth it. I would have been like, you lucky these people are here, because I would have fucking killed you. Yo. Oh, man. Seriously, man. That shit, I'm tearing up right now because you guys don't know how much this character. You don't have no idea how much I hated this character. This character brought me to tears of hatred. Okay? This actress did a phenomenal job. And Shout outs to her. She deserves she deserves all the fucking awards she gets. And the fact that she probably did she get an award with this? If she didn't, that's a crime. That is a fucking crime. She deserves fucking Emmys up the ass for that performance. Okay? Fucking for real. Alright? It's just, and her laugh. The laugh that she got when she giggles in the beginning of what was it, Deathly Hallows and shit like that. That giggle she has, I'm just like, fuck you in that giggle. Fuck you. I think it was in Deathly Hallows Part 2, right? Not in Part 1. Yeah, whatever. I'll remember it eventually. I'm gonna watch them again anyways. You know? So, and the thing is, this movie again. This movie, you had the spotlight with Neville. Neville has been my favorite character since the first movie. And I don't care what no one says, he is the chosen one. No ifs, ands, or buts. He is the chosen one. Harry Potter's the second chosen one. I'm sorry. He's the second chosen one. I don't care what no one says. Neville is the chosen one. He is. He's the chosen one. Okay? For crying out loud, when Voldemort saw him freaking pulling the freaking sword of Gryffindor out of the hat, he saw him like, the fuck? You know? Yo, man. I think that's when Voldemort realized, shit, I think this was the one that I was supposed to go after. I'm like, well, yeah, but, you know, you let Beatrix take out his parents, which I saw a fan-made movie about that. Yo, if you're watching, great fan movie, great fan-made Harry Potter movie about Beatrix taking out Neville's parents. That shit's hard to watch, very hard to watch, because Beatrix as a character, I hope I'm saying her name right, but her as a character is just an evil motherfucker. Evil bitch. Just, she's an evil bitch. And I wanted her more dead than Dolores Umbridge, to be honest. I did. To be honest, I wanted both of them to kill each other. Just, what if both of them just cross paths and just start arguing with each other? Yo, I will pay to see that shit. I will pay to see that shit. I would. I would pay to see that shit. What else? The whole point of Harry becoming Voldemort is, again, good. This movie is fantastic. There's no words that I can say to this movie. This movie is fucking amazing. Does it hold up to this day? Fuck yeah. Is it still awesome to this day? Fuck yeah. It's still the best Harry Potter movie, man. And I highly recommend you watching it. Right? Even if you're not even a fan of Harry Potter, watch it. Even as analysis of a movie, this movie should be analyzed as a movie. Like study it. Study all these Harry Potter movies in film schools. Seriously, do it. If you're not doing it, you should do it. Because holy shit. It's fucking amazing. Especially, like, I felt like the fifth movie, it was all leading up to this moment. And the fact that we weren't even done, I was in shock. When I was watching this movie, I'm like, we got fucking 2 more movies left. You mean to tell me this is at the end? And then the criminal, it gets the icing on the cake. Even J.K. Rowling did not have to do this. She didn't have to do this, but she did. Voldemort versus Dumbledore. My God. Tom Riddle versus death. That is what it is. And that's why Tom Riddle can't defeat Dumbledore. Because he is fighting death. And Voldemort is scared of death. Yes, he is. That's why he wants to live forever. He's scared of death. And the thing is, he looks at other people that died, and he's like, they're weak. But it's funny. He thinks they're weak, but you are afraid of dying. That's weak in itself, motherfucker. I'm surprised no one didn't tell him that. Maybe in the books they did. They probably died for it. But I'm surprised no one didn't say that in the movie. You know? That's just me, man. That's just me. That's just me as a fan. If you want to think of different perspectives and everything like that, and also me as a person, not just as a fan, but as a person. This battle between the thing is, I have read the description in of the book version between Voldemort and Dumbledore. It is not bad between them fighting and stuff like that. It's not bad, but to be quite honest, I think the movie's better. I think the movie's way better. For crying out loud, Voldemort freaking fires a basilisk out of his mouth. Some people might say it's Nagini and stuff like that. I think it's a male basilisk. I know some people be like, no, it's not a male basilisk, it's a female one. We've seen a female basilisk. We haven't seen a male basilisk. So I have seen the book interpretation of what a basilisk looks like, a male one and a female one, but we haven't seen the movie version of it. We've seen the female version of it, but we haven't seen the male version of it. So it is possible that the male version of the basilisk looks like what Voldemort spat out of his mouth. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just calling it what it is. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You know, but I'm gonna say it is mainly because that's fucking epic as shit. And when I first saw that as a fucking kid, when I first saw Voldemort spit that fucking snake out of his mouth, and Harry's just like looking at it, I'm like, oh my god, it's Chamber of Secrets all over again. That's why I literally said that shit out loud when I was watching that fight. I was just like, oh my god, Harry. I'm like, I wonder what Harry's thinking in his head. Like, oh my god, this fucking serpent like in the Chamber of Secrets. Yo, you know, like, I wanted to know what was in Harry's head at that moment. Yo, man, something that probably was in the book, and if it's not in the book, that is a crime in itself. How can you not tell me what Harry was thinking once he saw that fucking serpent? But the thing is, it's different from the book, how they fought, so that's why I think this is better. So, there you go. But, moving on, this movie, again, is awesome. And I think that's all I have to say. I think I'm done with talking about Order of the Phoenix, because it's just that good. It is. It's just that good. And get the DS game and the Game Boy Advance game, because they're not bad at all. They're not. For crying out loud, you get to travel Hogwarts. Most people are like, how's the Game Boy Advance version is? Imagine the Game Boy Advance version, like, it's Harry Potter, but how the camera angles work and how you move is kind of like Resident Evil, the old school ones, but it's better. Way better. And it works. And when you look at it, you're like, this is on a Game Boy Advance? Holy shit, I thought this was on a DS. This looks good. And I'm like, it does. It really does. Shockingly, it looks really, really, really fucking good. So, I highly recommend getting both of them if you can. You know, I have the DS version. If you can find the Game Boy version, which hopefully, if I find one, I'll definitely buy that just to say I have both versions, you know? So, that's how good this movie is. For crying out loud. Do you want to play this game and be Dumbledore and fight Voldemort? I think that in itself should make you buy this game and watch the movie and get the book. You know, it makes me want to fucking get the book just the book. Even though I heard Order of the Phoenix book is not really that good, but there's some parts of it that's really good. So moving on. The Half-Blood Prince. This movie is not that great, but it has good moments. When I did first saw this movie, I didn't like it all that much. But what saved it for me was the acting and the character development. And obviously with the whole thing of Ron, Hermione, obviously more, you know, obviously Hermione, you knowing more that Hermione was into Ron and shit like that, which we already knew since the beginning. They were into each other and shit like that. Ever since the first movie, you know. So, and the whole romantic stuff with him and Jenny is just forced. That's why there's a rumor that maybe she used the love potion. Most people are like, oh, that's just an excuse for bad writing. You're right. But to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised at that point. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Hey, if she didn't, then she didn't. But fuck, man. I think that character development between her and Harry should have been so much better. For crying out loud, Jenny is not a. For crying out loud, she's not a bad character. If you've seen her from all the movies, she's not a bad character. From what we're giving, it's not terrible until you get to this movie, and you're like, what the fuck? For crying out loud, the other movie, the fifth movie, wasn't that bad with their development a little bit. You know, it's like, I tie your shoes. I'm sorry. There's so many awkward moments in this movie, man. Just by the romantic shit alone. Not with Ron and Hermione, because that's not awkward. That's fine. That's a thing. They should have learned from Ron and Hermione and translate that from Harry and Jenny, but different. Not like the dramatic stuff. Just like, hey, what they were doing. Like it looks like with that one, with the Ron and Hermione stuff, they understand about the whole love interest shit. But when it came to Harry and Jenny, they were like, it's like they didn't want them to get together. It's like, oh yeah, you guys get together. Oh, fuck you. You guys don't deserve each other. It's like, that's fucked up, you know? But that's funny. That's fucking funny. Just thinking of that or something, shit like that. But this is Snape's moment. Who is the Half-Blood Prince? Harry finds a book, and it has a whole bunch of notes in it, and he wins in potion class. It's funny how Hermione looks all fucked up and her hair is like puffy, you know, which it's funny because she's supposed to look like that by the end of, yeah. If you didn't know, Hermione's hair is supposed to look messy like that. For once, they actually interpret Hermione right in the book, but she only, from the book. But she only looks like that mainly because she failed she kept fucking over her potions. How did you do that? You know, talking to Harry and everything like that. It's funny that at that moment, it looks like Hermione was about to cheat, but it's like, Hermione, are you cheating? You know? It's like, yeah, that's what I thought. I love that, you know, because it harkens back to when Ron says to Hermione, it's like, what are you gonna learn from here? You know, from your studies and shit like that. Copy off of you? No, you won't. It's like, yo, I love the dramatic. I love the not the dramatic. I love the humor. I love the character dynamic. Oh, I love it. I love these characters so much. I really do, man. I really do. So, but moving on. So, Draco is set to kill Dumbledore. He tries to kill him with a necklace and a beverage, which is like, you know, alcohol, stuff like that, or wine. And it doesn't work. And he panics. Harry finds this out. And obviously, Harry actually uses a spell from the book that he grabbed from Potions class, which is Snape's book. And he calls himself the Half-Blood Prince, but Harry doesn't know that. Obviously. Not yet. But he uses it. He uses a spell. I forgot what the spell was called. But he uses a spell, and it literally... And I think Malfoy was about to use that spell too. I could be gone. I was trying to hear what Malfoy was about to use, what spell he's about to use, but I think they were both about to cast that spell, from what I've heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I would like to know what Malfoy said when he was about to attack Harry before Harry attacked him. You know, because Harry was faster. It just makes sense if Harry was faster, because again, not because he's the chosen one. In a way, when you're fighting Voldemort, you do have to kind of be quick on your feet. Can you blame the dude? So, so he gets cut in half and he's bleeding. Like he's literally, there's blood on him and shit like that. And it's been established in this movie that if you break a bond, you would die. So that's why Snape came right away and freaking healed Draco right away, you know. And the fact that Snape made all these type of spells and everything like that and potions just shows that Snape was a very a very ahead wizard of his time. He really was. Snape was the best wizard. He was the best wizard. He did things and made things that people would look at and be like, that would have taken generations or years. You did that on a fly. That's how good he was. So good that I'm sad that they killed his character off, to be honest, because I don't think the character deserved it. I really didn't think he did deserve it. That's just me. Especially when you find out about him at the end. At first you'd be like, he got killed by Nagini. He deserved it. And you find out by the end, you'd be like, oh shit. But I'll get to that maybe in part 2 because I want to take a break and do stuff. But moving on, this would be like, I'm giving my whole dedication to part to the Deathly Hallows because I want to talk about a lot of the Deathly Hallows. Plus we have this video to do too, so there's that. So in closing with this part of the video, the end of it is Draco has some of the Death Eaters come to the school, and it's a pretty cool scene. Obviously, you get Harry and Dumbledore hanging out and showing some backstory of Voldemort when he was a kid and everything like that, which is great. I fucking love that shit. More of that, please. But but moving on. I know I keep repeating words and shit like that. I'm sorry. Like that too. So, meanwhile, they try to find another Horcrux that Voldemort's been hiding, and Dumbledore and Harry get it. It's a really cool scene. You have freaking dead freaking dead corpses coming out of the water, about to attack Harry and Dumbledore and shit like that. And Dumbledore has this freaking whip flame and shit like that. And he's going like that, like a fucking lasso and shit like that. Fucking badass, man. Fucking badass, man. Fucking badass. And that's the thing. I love the Dumbledore from the first 2 movies, but they give this Dumbledore a lot of badass shit. And that's why I love this Dumbledore too. I don't hate this Dumbledore. But holy shit, they gave him a lot of badass shit to do. And I'm just like, So, and what's the final thing? So the final thing is that Draco tries to kill Dumbledore. Finally, he's like, I have to do this. I'm chosen. I am chosen. Even earlier in the movie, Snape is like, I'm trying to protect you. He's like, I don't need protection. This is my moment. I was chosen. Me. Yo, man, I couldn't help but laugh at that point because you do felt for Draco. You do. You kind of felt for him. But at the same time, you couldn't help but laugh because I'm just like, this is my moment. I'm the chosen one here. Me. It's like, oh, God. Should I even feel sorry for you or laugh at you? I don't know. Maybe both. And that's how I felt a little bit for him. But in closing, now, definitely closing, Malfoy basically takes the wand out of Dumbledore's hand, that Elder Wand, meaning Draco is the owner of the Elder Wand, just by disarming Dumbledore. And Dumbledore was like, here, let me help you. Oh, yeah. It's almost like Dumbledore planned for him to be disarmed, obviously, because he was going to die. He knew he didn't have enough time. Why? Because, the one of the rings that's part of the Horcrux that Voldemort had, the Resurrection Stone, I think that's called. Yeah, Dumbledore tried to put it in his ring, and he got cursed from it. You stupid motherfucker. It shows this character's greediness, Dumbledore. He's greedy. He's greedy with power. And a lot of people might say that, how come Harry, when he used the Resurrection Stone? The thing is, he didn't put the ring on him. It was the stone itself he used. The stone was actually in the snitch. So maybe the stone was always in the snitch the whole time.
I don't fucking know. I'm just guessing at this point. You can help me with that one. So Snape comes. He's like, no. You know, Beatrix is there and the other Death Eaters are there. Snape says no, you know, because Harry's about to, you know, go up there and shit like that. And Snape is like, you know, he says no. And Dumbledore's like, Snape, please. And then abracadabra. When I first saw this movie, I was like, what the fuck? What the Yo, I was so in shocked when Dumbledore got killed. The thing is, too, my sister watched this movie first before me, and she told me, oh, Dumbledore died. And I'm like, what? So I already knew going into this movie that he was going to die, but I didn't know how he was going to die. When I saw the movie, though, I was like, oh my god. And then Harry's like, Snape, he trusted you. Fight back. Fight back, you coward. Oh, again, great fucking acting, man. Good acting. The movie is flawed, but the acting in this movie is just not bad. I can't knock it for that. Especially, again, with the whole, you know, I could be debated with, you know, maybe Goblet of Fire. And then again, Goblet of Fire doesn't have terrible acting, or, you know, it has good acting, you know, but when you look at Half-Blood Prince, it has better acting. You know, it does. It has better acting. Mainly because, you know, the actors, like, you know, really got to know a lot of the other actors behind the scenes. And you got that, you know, from the characters. And it helped, especially over the years, you know. They're all going to come back and know each other as a family. So obviously they're going to have to, you know, you're going to have to know each other on set. So I thought this ending was fine. I thought it was great. It hyped up for the next movie. And it was bleak. And everyone's just having the wands up and everything like that with, you know, with Dumbledore dead. For kind of loud, the last movie, Sirius died. I didn't even mention that. Sirius Black died in the other movie. You know? And the other movie before that, freaking, Cedric Diggory died. For kind of loud, after, what is it? After the Prisoner of Azkaban, everyone dies. That shit's fucking crazy when you think about that. Everyone dies after the movie Prisoner of Azkaban. It's like shit. When you really think about it, you didn't spend all that time with Sirius. And then he gets killed off. And you're like, shit. But at least we spent enough time, movie-wise, you know, to care about the character and feel sorry for Harry and him that they died. I mean, that he died. And I'm like, fuck! And Lupin is holding Harry and shit. I wish I mentioned that. And Lupin's like, oh, you know, he's holding Harry and Harry's like, ah! You know, yo. Again, the acting in the fifth movie is great. And then it just translates a little bit more in the Half-Blood Prince. And it works. It works in its favor. To be honest, the Half-Blood Prince should have just been the Order of the Phoenix, was it 1.2? It literally is, to be quite honest. I don't know why J.K. Rowling couldn't just add that to the Order of the Phoenix. I mean, look at the Order of the Phoenix, but it's already big as it is. So probably adding that would have been like, so if they saw the movie, I mean, if the movie director saw the book, they would have been like, no, we're not doing this. So rewrite the script. It's like, damn it. But that's it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This is on Facebook, but it's going to be on YouTube. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think of part 1 of me just talking about Harry Potter and its movies and stuff like that. There will be more to come soon. So I'm just going to take a break, eat, you know, chill, smoke a little bit of doobie. No. But I'm going to, you know, eat. I'm hungry. So I'll see you guys. Be safe. And tell me what you guys think about this video. And tell me what you guys think about how I felt about the Harry Potter stuff. And what was your perspective when you watched these Harry Potter movies when you were growing up. So, and then looking back at them now too. So.